Right, now, just before we start the phoning with our guest, Robert Opie, today, good afternoon, Robert, and welcome to the programme.
Good afternoon, quite literally.
Thank you very much for coming in. And Alan Albo Newman is here once again, now confusing the new feature, Lunch Will Keep Us Together. As that record started to fade, can we get people to text in with their forgotten lunch? If people have forgotten their lunch, they're not going to be able to text in, are they? What are you doing?
Well, we were going to have a forgotten brand's lunch for Lunch Would Keep Us Together. For example, I'm going to have a crispy pancake with potato waffles, washed down by a can of Hofmeister, and a Wall's Funny Feet ice cream for pudding. All brands, apart from the beginning one, that no longer exist. They might be having a Tex and Chewy bar. I thought for Lunch Will Keep Us Together, people could send texts for their brands that they miss, that they'd love to be having for lunch.
That's a good idea.
But Alan, the Funny Feet have just come back.
Oh! All right, I'm having opal fruits.
OK, well, I'm having cheese sandwiches, but they're Dairy single slices. Can you still get those, Robert?
I don't know, can you?
Yes, of course you can. Look at you two. You earn too much.
I'm having a marathon bar after that and some yo-yos. Remember yo-yo biscuits?
Oh, very much yo-yos, yes.
They were minty inside.
But yes, individual slices still like, absolutely. You will never get rid of those. They're part of that kind of consumer heritage. I'm going to have...
Hang on a minute, I haven't told you what I'm going to wash it down with yet.
Go wash it down quickly.
I'm going to wash it down with a can of Tab.
Yes.
Yeah. Do you like it? Was that 1 calorie, Tab?
No, it wasn't.
That was 1 cal.
But that was a low-calorie Coke, basically, yes. So my main staple lunch during the 60s, when I was had a job, Lyons individual fruit pie.
Okay.
That used to cost 8 old pence. And then I'm going to have a pudding. I'm going to have a bird's eye mousse that came in that little plastic tub with a very individual
thing. Hang on, what's in the filling in the pie?
Oh, it can be apple was my favourite. It could be gooseberry.
You're not going savoury. He's gone sweet and then he's doubled up on the sweet.
You've doubled up on the sweet. What are you going for the savoury?
Why not? I'm going to skip that one quickly. I'm going to wash that down with a can of Quattro.
Oh, nice.
Great.
And you've just reminded me, Robert, of... Do you remember Harvest pies?
Well, they were Lyons individual fruit pies before they became Harvest. So that was a morph from the Lyons to Harvest, but they were the same brand. But what happened in about 68 is they gave up the square shape, which a lot of people remember, and went into a round shape.
Don't remember the square shape.
There you go.
That's where Greg's got the steak bake idea from.
That could be it. That's why we should do it for our text in for Love Will Keep Us Together. The brands that you would have.
Lunch Will Keep Us Together.
Lunch Will Keep Us Together.
You're determined to ruin this feature, aren't you, Newman?
I'm not. I promised you said to me, keep this feature at 12:10. Whatever happens, I don't want it wandering around this feature. I'm trying to keep you on track. It's impossible.
OK, here's Neil Sedaka with Lunch Will Keep Us Together. So we've got some calls coming, yeah?
Yeah, got some calls. We want your brand stories, brands you miss, do you remember? And Robert Opie's here from the Museum of Brands with his new DVD. If it comes to brands, he knows absolutely everything. And if he doesn't, we'll just play a record.
Do you really, though, Robert? Are we going to stump you with? If I had said to you, washing it down with a can of Tab, would there have been maybe a part of you thinking, "Hang on, which one was that?" Or do you know them all?
No, well, I know them all except the ones I don't know, but I do know an awful lot. But yes, I will always be caught out somewhere along the line. You cannot possibly know everything.
Because that's good. Because then there must be somewhere in the year new discoveries for you.
Oh, totally, all the time. The thing is, over the story of this consumer world, 150 years or so, there have been thousands upon thousands upon thousands of brands, and a lot of them have disappeared. The majority have disappeared. It's just that the ones around us still today are so familiar. There are so many brands that go way, way, way back.
What about when someone like Mars spends millions changing their logo, but only slightly so you wouldn't notice? I mean, that's incredible. You look at a Mars bar and you think it's never changed. Then you look at one from the 70s or maybe one from the 60s and you think, hang on, the logo was different, but they've changed it so subtly and they pay such a lot of money for the subtle change.
Well, the subtle change keeps them kind of vibrant and up to date, and that's what we want. We want something which is very contemporary. Otherwise, we think perhaps the product's a bit old-fashioned. But yes, you should maintain that continuity. That is what we've invested in all our lives. If you overchange it, you use that you disconnect with your favourite friend. Because a lot of these brands are like friends.
Yeah.
They kind of form a circle of those kind of trusted people we have around us. And we come back late from a day at the office. You want your mug of cocoa or your Ovaltine or your Horlicks or whatever is your favourite kind of nighttime drink.
Could you go to someone's house, open the kitchen cabinet or the larder and tell the personality from the cupboard?
I would have a good stab at it, and I think that would be a fascinating thing to do. I once had to do something live on a BBC television programme where they presented me with the contents of a lady's handbag. I then had to say what type of a person that was, and that was actually very funny and a very interesting thing to attempt. So right. I could try that with the larder.
Robert will be back with you in just a few seconds. Good afternoon, Jenny in Wimborne.
Good afternoon.
You are through to Robert Opie, who's got these fabulous books that you see on sale every Christmas, and he's also got this DVD out and his own museum of brands. You've got one for him, so come on, Jenny, hit him between the eyes. I think we've got him on the ropes already.
Yes, I was just driving along yesterday and said to my partner, wherever did Zoobs go? Quite actually randomly. He goes, what? So Zoobs, Z-U-B-E-S. They were in an orange tin.
I know them very well, yes. And you Yes, I mean, they've been going for a very, very, very long time, and it wouldn't surprise me if they weren't still around, to be honest. They had a slogan in the 1930s which says, horse, go suck a Zoob.
That's it. I remember the Go Sucker Zoo, but I don't remember the horse bit.
And they were made by a company called something like FW Hampshire, so that's appropriate as well, isn't it?
But there it goes. They could be there, Jenny. If they are, would you? Yeah. If they were still out there, would you go and buy some again?
I would. I would just for the crack. I would.
And what about, Robert, when Jenny revisits the old brand? Is it going to be, wow, it's going to take you right back? Or sometimes can they be disappointing? I'm thinking of Cresta. It's frothy, man. In the 70s, it was frothy. Yeah. It was full of sugar. When they brought it back, it didn't taste like Cresta used to, because I don't think it would have been allowed to taste like that.
Well, that's absolutely right. And of course, the thing is with brands that you revisit is it does have that kind of double whammy. But usually, it does bring all those memories back. And that's what we find at the museum. People come and visit us and suddenly they're back in their childhood and suddenly all those memories are coming back at them. And that to me is terrific fun, and that's exactly what this DVD is all about. It's bringing back those moments which we've forgotten about, but it's also bringing those memories. And then you connect with your parents or your grandparents who tell you all those extraordinary stories about individual products and brands. It is amazing.
All right, Jenny, thank you for calling.
Thank you.
Have a good day. Bye-bye. Bye. Let's go to Jean in Lee Park. Is this the Jean Genie?
This is.
Hello, Jean.
How are you?
I'm all right, thank you. I've got Robert Opie with me, wanting to know about your old brands. Now, before you go any further, Jean, let me just tell Robert, Jean is very, very old. She's 107.
This is true.
That's congratulations already, isn't it?
No, I'm sitting here wrapping up Christmas presents, and you've no idea how long it's taken me. I'm so old.
No, she's in her 80s.
You can remember Maserati tea then, can't you?
Oh, absolutely. That was posh. That was a bit posh. Oh, my goodness. No, mine is custard powder. Custard powder in the tin. Now, there were 3 brands. There were Birds, I think it was Brown and Paulson's, and then, of course, there was Monk and Glass, who, of course, was Bob Monkhouse's family.
That's right, absolutely.
That was right, wasn't it?
Yes.
And, you could make that flipping custard as thick as you wanted. You could slice it. I mean, it was absolutely wonderful. I mean, who wants to stand and make a custard with eggs, stirring it over the hot water? I mean, you shouldn't really name the product.
You can still get custard powder, though, can't you, Robert?
Oh, yes, of course. Bird's custard powder is still very much around, but we all want it ready-made
these days. But the other 2 are not, I don't think.
What were the other 2?
Brown and Paulson's, I think, and Monk and Glass.
No, you're right. I mean, Brown and Paulson's still around as a brand. They still make blancmange powder.
Oh, that's another one. That's another one, but that is terribly old-fashioned. Nobody has blancmange anymore.
I'd love a jelly and blancmange.
Oh, so do
Why does no one ever have blancmange anymore? We used to have a blancmange mould at home.
Oh, yes.
In the shape of a rabbit.
And mine was a rabbit. My daughter's got it.
And the rabbit was kind of like laying down, and obviously its ears were stood up.
And my mum had it.
What was that all about? Who wanted to eat a rabbit?
What kid?
But you see, on the DVD, we've actually recreated that rabbit. We actually have it on the DVD, yes.
Wow.
And you see, the CBD is actually full of people's memories, and that's what makes it so exciting. We've got well over 100 what I call memory moments from just people who are just saying exactly what you are about their memories of individual brands. You know, the Whatness Party 7.
And it was exciting because who had the head? You know, I mean, it was really exciting.
Jean, watch this. I've got Robert. I've got him. Amazing Raisins.
Amazing Raisins, absolutely.
It's a chocolate bar. You hadn't heard of that one, had you?
Oh, of course I have, yes.
No.
That rings a bell.
Never mind, Jean. Thank you very much, Jean. Let's go to Carol in Dibden. Hello, Carol.
Hello, Alex.
How are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
You? I'm all right, thank you. We've got Robert Opie here. He is the king of British brands.
Yeah.
So we need to try and... Well, we don't all have to try and fox him, but have you got something that maybe you could slip past him?
Yes, Zoobs are good for your tubes. And our local chemist in Dibden Purlew do them, because I bought some last winter in an orange tin.
There you are. I thought they would still be around.
Yeah.
And have you got your own brand from the 70s?
What, me?
Yeah, Carol, I thought you were going to be talking about soups.
No, Zoobs.
Ah, they've put soups on the board. They've misheard you. You're another Zoober.
No, Zoobs.
Oh, it says soups here. It says
No.
Carol wants to talk about soups.
No, Zoobs.
Oh, never mind. All right, Carol, thank you very much for being there.
Okay, bye.
Bye-bye. This says, hi, Alex. I don't know if I've spelt it right. For my retro lunch, for lunch will keep us together, I'm having chidlings and a Five Boys chocolate bar, says John in Northwood. Does that ring any bells with you?
Well, Fry's Five Boys was a great brand. It went back to 1902. It was one of those classic first-time milk chocolate products, which way into the 70s was actually still around, but then it was dropped. So it's been a classic brand for a long time. And the great thing about Fry's Five Boys, if you remember the advertisement, was that they had a young lad who was crying, and then he moved slowly to being very happy because he'd got his Fry's chocolate bar. And it's one of those products that a lot of people remember because it was so iconic. Maybe one day we'll see it back again, but I suspect it's been lost to history.
Well, Julian says, hi Alex, I remember the Five Boys chocolate bar where the first picture was the boy looking tearful and his mood got progressively better until the last picture where he was happy and smiling. I guess after you'd eaten all that chocolate you would be happy. I love Mr. Opie's scrapbooks, says Julian. Let's go to Chris. You're a hit. You know, I thought we may be struggling for cause with you, Robert. I thought we'd done you once too often, but obviously we haven't. It's lovely to have you here in the flesh. Hello, Chris, near Wickham. Hi.
Hello, Alex. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. What have you got for Robert?
Yeah, I just remember in the 50s when I used to go to Fratton Park, and there used to be a couple of guys walking around a running track with like the ice cream sellers in a cinema, shouting out herbal cough sweets.
Herbal cough sweets?
Yeah, they used to, like, somebody in the crowd would shout down they wanted a packet, they'd throw their money down, and the guy will lob up a packet of these sweets.
Do you know what the actual, were they just, was it an array of herbal cough sweets, or was that the brand?
I think it was just that was all there were, herbal cough sweets, and they used to lob them up into the crowd.
Does that ring any bells with you, Robert?
Well, I think it's just that's a generic term, isn't it? I don't think there's a brand there that I can think of, because a lot of different medicinal makers made cough sweets of all different types and flavours. So God knows what that could have been. Maybe, I mean, Vino's was a huge brand of cough mixture. I'm sure they made sweets as well.
Well, I'll tell you what we're going to do, Chris. We're going to ask other people who remember going to Fratton Park at that time. When was it, Chris?
Oh, 50s, early 60s.
All right. Thank you. Anyone else who was at Fratton Park in the late 50s, early 60s, if you can remember, let us know. Here's another one I do. This sounds ridiculous now. In our fridge, we have, and we're going to mention, this is a BBC, but obviously we're talking brands. I'm going to mention brands here. We have Vimto as one of the drinks in our fridge for tea time. So we've got orange squash, we've got that, we've got cola, we've got water, we've got loads of stuff. So I say to my kids, what do you want? And they say, oh, I have a Vimto. And I always say, Vimto's going to get you in the end. Every tea time must drive them round the bend. Remember that?
Absolutely. Now Vimto actually arrived in 1908. It goes way back, but it was mainly a northern brand, and it arrived at this moment of time where a lot of the brands had O on the end of it. How many of those can you think of? Oxo, Omo, Rinso. You know, it was a huge era, Aspro, of all these brands coming out. We call them O brands. Aspro.
No, Aspo. Okay, later. Let's go to Mary from Highcliffe. Hello, Mary.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. How are you?
All right, thank you. I've got the king of brands here, Robert Opie, from his Museum of Brands.
Oh, it's nice to meet you.
Well, it's nice to talk to you. What have you got for Robert?
Well, I wondered about this. Friday night is a Marmy night.
Absolutely.
Marmy or Marmite?
A Marmy.
No, a Marmy. It was a shampoo.
Yes.
Oh.
Absolutely. That appears in the DVD as well, yes. It was one of huge advertising campaigns.
Yes, it went on for ages, and I still say Friday night is a Marmy night.
I like Friday night is Marmy night. I've got to be honest with you, but I think, Mary, that people should be washing their hair every night of the week these days. People only probably had a bath on a Friday night in those days.
I wash mine on a Saturday.
Well, why don't you do it on a Friday so Friday night can be Marmy night?
Yes, I haven't heard of that shampoo since.
Robert, what happened to Marmy?
It's actually Amami with an A at the beginning, but
it was A-M-A-M-I.
That's right. I think it disappeared. You see, what happened in the 1950s? All those sachet powdered products disappeared, and we was replaced by brands like Dreen, which was the first real major liquid shampoo.
The liquid, yes,
that's right.
You
know, so we went liquid after that. So
I go back a long way because I'm 94.
Oh well, congratulations on that. You see,
Mary, you don't look 94.
I don't feel like it.
I've got you down as 64.
Oh, well, that's lovely.
Thank you for being there, Mary. Have a lovely day.
Yes, that's okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Let's go to Barbara. Barbara's from Winterbourne. Hello, Barbara.
Hello.
How are you?
All right, thank you.
What brand have you got for Robert Opie?
Right, I've been longing to have this stuff again. Miss Muffet Junket.
Oh, yes, Miss Muffet, yes.
Oh, they were in a file.
Yes, and it came in a little box as well, didn't it, with a nice little picture on the front.
Oh, I used to love that stuff.
Now, what did you do with your junket?
Eat it.
You mix it up with...
You mix it up with the milk.
Yes.
You just bring it to, not boil, just warm it up and put it in this junket, and it used to turn into... I don't know. It was all sort of lovely. It wasn't like thick. It was soft.
And you would eat it after your main course, would you?
Yeah, yes. I'd eat it any time. And I had my son in the hospital, and my mum even bought me one up to eat in hospital.
Yes,
she thought it was good for you.
That was such a fun product, and I think it probably disappeared in the kind of late 60s, early 70s, but I don't think it's still going.
You can't make it now because they've changed what's in the milk. You have to have a special, it mustn't be homogenised or something, or whatever they do to it.
And what about your favourite sweet? Do you have a favourite sweet you remember from the past?
I love sherbet.
Oh, yes.
Anything, I used to like sherbet fountains.
And the sherbet dabs as well.
Yeah, but I didn't eat the sweet, I just like the sherbet.
All right, Barbara, we've got to leave it there. Thank you very much. Hi, Alex. Can you ask Robert whatever happened to OXO flavoured crisps, says Clive, who's hungry and wants OXO flavoured crisps in New Milton.
Oh, that's interesting. OXO flavoured crisps were one of the first flavours to come out in a crisp market, and I suppose you never know, they may come back at any moment, because Bovril was used. They've had all kinds of different flavoured crisps, and of course the flavoured crisp was really something of the 70s. The crisp market was in the 70s just amazing. It had pretty well everything. Do you remember Rancheros or Football Crazy or Outer Spaces?
Is this what you tell me they're all on the DVD?
Well, they are on all the DVD.
Will you stop going on about that blessed DVD, Robert, for goodness sake?
And the horror bags.
Horror bags. Robert Opie's here. He's got this DVD out called Throwaway History. He's also got his own museum, the Museum of Brands, and he's had this song commissioned.
Take me back to those good old days. Sweets and treats and jars full of heaven. Candy, tots, lollipops just for me. Take me back. Honey in the pot just waiting to be spent. Do you remember when we stopped at the tuck shop, our eyes open wide? Way back then, we loved the taste of sherbet, fizzy pop that made us run wild. Oh, what a time we had, what happy times were had. Take me back, oh look at that, sweets and treats and jars full of heaven. Candy, tots, lollipops just for me. Take me back. Breakfast at the table, snap, crackle, and pop. Do you remember when?
That's that's a nice little song. I like that. So that's the one that kicks off the DVD, is it? That's the theme to your DVD.
It's played throughout the DVD, yes.
Right,
yes.
what, to get your money's worth?
Well, yes. I mean,
we commissioned the song, let's use it.
Well, absolutely. And there's a bit on our second disc of actually that being filmed.
Oh, right, okay. Filler.
Yes, well, there's a second disc. The first disc is the whole story, a 2-hour documentary. And then the second disc is me talking about, I don't know, the world of collecting and how it's all come about, and then how these brands have survived. Because when you think about it, so many of these things should have been thrown away, and most of it has been thrown away. But, I wanted to kind of tell the story of how the collection came about anyway.
OK, let's go to Annette now from Longstock. Hello, Annette, how are you today?
Hi, I've got a bit of a cold. I've had it for over a week now.
When I said how are you today, I didn't really care. I was just being polite.
Oh, OK then, fine.
No, I'm joking. I hope your cold gets better, Annette.
Thank
right.
you.
Tell me about soup squares.
Yeah, my mum used to use them when she was making a stew, and they were called Foster Clark.
Yes. Yeah, Foster Clark of Maidstone. That's right. And they made all kinds of other products like jelly.
I don't remember that, but I just remember her using them, and they were absolutely delicious.
What were they then? Soup squares? Are they like little cubes of OXO?
Well, a bit like that,
They were
very much.
bigger than that.
Yes, and they're absolutely right. They were bigger than OXO cubes, and a lot of companies made them. There was a company called Lazenby's, for instance, who were taken over by Cross and Blackwell. They made them as well. But the most recent one, I think, is a company called Chef.
Oh, right.
And they also made soup squares. So it's been around for a long time.
I've never heard of them before.
Yeah.
No, I think Nor made
delicious.
them as well. But, I'm sure you can still get them somewhere.
Yeah, I've been looking out for my mum, but I can't find them. I've looked everywhere. I travel quite a lot and all over the place, and I've looked out for them, but I just can't see them. Just can't see them.
I wonder, Annette, if the supermarket has ruined a lot of these brands, because if you're not one of the real big boys and you can't get your stuff into the shelves of Tesco and Waitrose and those places, you're going to get pushed out, because would that make a difference to the corner shop market diminishing?
Yeah, it would be, because, she used to get them from a company called Lipton's.
Oh, yeah,
Lipton's. Well, a lot of those big supermarkets have disappeared, haven't they?
Yeah,
even
they have.
Fine Fare and...
And then there was another one called Cowcell.
Yes, and do you remember a store called Victor Value?
Yes.
Yep.
Yes, I remember that.
Really? I think that's a trick question. I think he made that up just to see if we're on our toes here.
Oh, no, I remember them.
You do?
I do remember them. Yeah, I used to live in Ringwood when I was growing up, and I remember quite a lot. There was an old company, and I think they're still going, but the shop in Ringwood is actually gone, so I'm not sure where they are now. It used to be called Frampton's.
OK. All right, Annette, look, I've got to move on because the lines are very busy. Thank you for being there. Hope that cold gets better.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Let's go to Joe in Totton. Hello, Joe.
Hello, Alex.
Now, we've been trying to fox Robert with a brand. And what was the chocolate bar I shot at you just a moment ago?
Amazing Raisin.
OK, what about this one? I've got him, Joe. Aztec Bar. Aztec Bar.
Oh, that was a huge brand, yes.
Oh.
Yeah, they lasted for 10 years and kind of...
I'm out of bullets. Joe, over to you.
Late 60s and early 70s, yes. Made by Cadbury's in answer to the Mars bar.
What have you got, Joe?
Right. When I was little, back in the 50s, my granddad used to give us Friar's Balsam if we had a cough.
Oh, yes.
It was vile.
Yes, wasn't it nasty? But it made
absolutely vile.
It made you feel as if you were doing you good, didn't it?
No, not at all. We never coughed in front of Grandpa if we could help it. Is it still around?
Well, Friar's Balsam is actually a kind of generic product that a lot of companies made. So you'd probably find some independent chemist shop might stock it somewhere. I'm always surprised. I can find some things that I thought had disappeared, like Signal toothpaste. I thought had disappeared. A couple of years ago, I rediscovered it in the depths of my local independent chemist shop.
Was that a disappointment? Did you think, this is getting rare? Oh, no, it's still out there.
No, I was so excited that some of these brands are still around.
Joe, we've got to move on, but thank you so much for being there. We're going to go to Jack in Portsmouth, who's got the answer to the Pompey Football Club throat sweet question from the late 50s, early 60s. Jack, the floor is yours.
Hello, Alex.
Hi.
Those cough sweets were called Cough No More Paragoric.
Right.
Ooh.
Cough No More.
Paragoric.
Paragoric.
And there was a chap who used to walk around the perimeter of the track shouting out, Cough No More, and used to throw them 3p piece, and he used to catch it. And he used to throw the bag up I mean, we're talking about 40, 50,000 people. He should have played cricket for England, really.
I think we may have stomped.
Yes, I'm not aware of that
Robert.
one, but it does remind me of something again, which is in the medical section of this DVD, and it's called wait and see pills. You know, so you took some pills that the brand name was just called wait and see.
These were paregoric, and they was horrible.
Thank you very much, Jack in Gosport.
Okay, Alex.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Right, I've got a little treat for you now. Have a listen to this, and let's see if you can remember this one.
Tuck, 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 snack crackers have a new crispy lightness that snaps with a whisper yet bursts into flavour on your tongue. With cheeses, tuck pleases, because these smooth golden crackers have a new crispy lightness that snaps with a whisper yet bursts into flavour on your tongue.
Tick tock,
tuck,
tick tock, tuck. Tuck, T-U-C, bursting onto bursting the flavour onto your tongue.
Oh, no,
Have we got you?
I don't know that one.
We've got him! Let's go to Brian in Overton now. Hello, Brian.
Hello, Alex.
How are you?
Okay, thank you.
We've got Robert Opie with us. Robert is very posh. He's very well educated, and I want to call him Dr. Robert Opie because he looks like a doctor.
Is he anything to do with Opie's pickled walnuts?
We are connected way back because all the Opies come from Cornwall.
Oh, right.
What's your question, Brian, or what's your memory?
Something that seems to have disappeared off the shelves. It's very difficult to get anything that's as good as it. Panyan pickle.
Oh, yes, Panyan pickle. It didn't disappear that long ago, but I did hear that they were trying to find the recipe because they made an appeal for anybody who could find an old jar of Panyan pickle, and it came in a very specific kind of bottle for a stage, but it was made by the same people.
It's McConaughey's, wasn't it?
Yes, that's right,
Yeah.
but it eventually became part of the same group.
Right, 'cause it was Piccadilly. I think they did. McConaughey's did Piccadilly as well.
That's right. Well, McConaughey's made a huge range of products, including things like jam, which was the iconic jam that was sent to the troops during the First World War. So it has a long, long history. But yes, Panyan pickle was a very much a very popular brand at a stage, and then it just dissipated over the years. And sadly, I think it departed maybe something like 20 years ago.
Well, you can try all sorts of pickles, and the 57 variety sweet pickle is quite nice, but it's not the same as Panyan. And,
yes.
When you taste all these things, you buy a jar and you've spent the money, you need to use it up, but it's not the same as Panyan.
Yeah, well, let's hope it comes back again, because we all love those very individual flavours, don't we? And it's the same with whatever kind of sweet tooth you've got. It's that very iconic kind of flavour that we want again, whether it's an Aztec bar or mint cracknell.
Thank you very much to Brian in Overton. You're listening to BBC Radio Solid. It's the phone-in. We're talking brands today. Robert Opie's here trying to plug his new DVD. I'm not letting him get too many plugs in. But then we had this call from Peter in Somerton saying, how do I get the DVD? Is this a plant? Did you get this guy to call in?
No, I didn't.
Well, we'll let them know at the end of the show. Nippets Cough Sweet, says Jean in Sholing. And this one says, Alex, when I was rich, I bought pocket coffee.
Pocket coffee.
Pocket coffee, that's what it says. This one says, hi Alex, tell Jeannie from earlier, I love blancmange. My wife Diane makes them for me quite often. She buys Pierce Duffs. They're at the supermarket on the shelves. Great topic, by the way, says Dave in Bassett. Pierce Duffs. That must be the blancmange.
Pierce Duff was a huge company, and they used to claim that they had a different brand for every day of the year. So over 350 different products, and they were able to create virtually everything, all the kind of custards you wanted, the blancmanges, the jellies. They did a huge range of different products, and at one time they were a major brand name in the market.
Here's my favourite one, Opie, from Opie Robert. So I do beg your pardon. And Opie's like your nickname. It's because I'm seeing Omo here, you see. Says, hi Alex, my dad always told me that a lady he used to visit occasionally used to place a packet of Omo washing powder in her front window. He said it stood for old man out.
That's right, and this story comes up time and time and time again, particularly for sailors for some reason.
In Portsmouth.
But yes, I mean, Omo was one of those brands which sort of was actually launched way back in Edwardian times, then disappeared, and then was relaunched in the 50s, along with all those other new detergent powders like Tide. And it arrived originally in the early part of the 20th century, along with other brands like Rinso and Oxidol, which a lot of people still remember.
Yeah.
And the curious thing is that Rinso is actually brand leader in Australia, even though it's disappeared here.
Really?
Yes.
We're going to go to Maureen in Eastleigh, Christina in Newport, Lynn in Gosport, and a whole lot of other people. We've got texts, we've got emails, and we've got this to do. Sorry to keep you waiting, Maureen. Very busy today. This is Maureen in Eastleigh.
Oh, hi, Alex. Good morning.
Hi, Maureen. Nice to have you on the show. You're through to Robert Opie.
Right. Hello, Robert.
Good afternoon.
When we were kids, we used to buy something called Spanish root. Do you know anything about it?
Spanish root, yes, that looked like a kind of packet of tobacco, didn't it?
Oh, it was dreadful. You sucked it and it all went stringy.
Yes.
You could buy it actually like a piece of root. What was it? I mean, I ate a lot of it, hated it really, but you couldn't get sweets, so that was the next best thing.
Yes, I've no idea what it was made out of.
You haven't?
No, but...
It's a licorice, apparently. I've been told through my headphones by Alan, our producer. He's looked it up online. It was a licorice.
Yes,
oh, it was.
That sounds right,
And there was also locust beans. Do you remember those?
Yeah, they were much the same kind of product, I think, weren't they? Yes. And I never liked them.
No, nor did I. And could I just ask you one quick question about Marmite?
Yes.
Years ago, I mean, I've been eating it since the year dot, but it doesn't taste the same now, and it's a totally different texture. Do you know if they altered it at all?
Well, they've altered the one that you squeeze out of the bottle. Is that the one that you're using?
No, I'm just using one from a jar, but it's
Maybe
not
your
the same.
taste buds have changed over the years, Maureen.
Yeah, they probably have, but other people have mentioned it to me that the texture's different.
I suspect they may have been just moving it so it's a little bit healthier. They maybe have taken out some of the salt. I don't know. But,
oh,
you know.
dear. Thanks ever so much for your help. Enjoying the programme.
Thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Rosie in Parkston says, what about, and I love this one, every Christmas we had this Top Deck Shandy.
Oh, yes, Top Deck, yes, absolutely. That was a big brand, and it went through kind of quite a different range of designs and so on. But that's it. You see, what I love about this collection that I've got that people come and see at the museum in Notting Hill is that it's everybody's memories, and Christmas is that vital moment for the family to gather round and hopefully watch this DVD, because all those memories are so important to us. It's the thing that I love.
Is this where you say that it's educational? Think of it as buying it as an educational DVD, and it brings the family together.
It does exactly that. How did you know?
Hello, Christina.
Hello, Alex.
Christina in Newport, welcome to the programme.
Thank you very much.
You're through to Robert.
Yes, two things. First of all, something called junket.
Ah, yes. Well, we've just been talking about junket, yes.
Oh, I missed that one.
And the other one?
The other one is Crest.
Crest?
It
Crest
was
the toothpaste?
No.
Crest.
It was a bar, rather like a Mars bar shape.
Yep, I know it. Yes.
And
yes.
it was in a blue wrapper.
Yes, I think it actually had a striped wrapper, didn't it, at one stage?
Oh, I don't remember that.
Ah, and I think it was made by a company called Cayley's. But they were based in Norwich, but they were taken over by Macintoshes.
Right, and they don't seem to make it anymore.
No, so many sweet brands have disappeared. So do you remember Cabana? Or the Texan bar?
Love the Texan bar. Pull your teeth out, that would.
It would do. And Super Mousse, that was a big brand at one stage.
Yeah,
with a kind of light, kind of fluffy centre to it.
Christina, I've been trying all morning to get Robert, and I think I've just remembered a yoghurt called Yogadile. I'm sure there was a yoghurt called Yogadile.
I'm sure there wasn't.
Maybe there wasn't. Christina, thank you very much. Right, I can't do all these text and emails. I want to. Hi, Alex. Spangles. Now, this is from Robert and Brenda in Ringwood. The Spangles Winter Mixture.
Absolutely.
Oh,
yes.
You remember it? If it had been fizzy cola, old English, I thought you may have got it. But the winter mixture?
That came in a black packet, which was quite different from everything else they made.
Right, okay.
I'm not sure it was actually called Winter Mixture. I'm just trying to think. I know in the museum we got an advertisement for it, but it doesn't doesn't quite sound right. So
Okay,
maybe
well, maybe we'll
companies
come
can
back to
correct
that.
us, yeah.
Lynn in Gosport, you want to talk shampoo to Robert? I've got to be honest, it doesn't look like Robert uses shampoo. I can't see any need for it, Lynn. But what did you want to say?
Oh, well, it was something we used to use as young teenagers. You used to buy it in a little packet, and it was like a transparency type leaf. And then you just wet your hair and you rubbed it on it, and it all went soapy. And I can't remember what they're called.
Oh, can you describe it a bit more? It's like when you say like a leaf, what do you mean by
Well,
that?
a leaf shape. It was kind of like a very thin piece of paper. I think it was probably the days before liquid shampoo were out.
Okay.
And you used to kind of wet your hair and then rub this over it, and it was like your shampoo for the day.
And it frothed up, soaked up, did it?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
It was something very useful for travelling with. So if you were going on holiday, maybe.
I mean, not many of us kind of went too far them days. I think it might have been before liquid shampoos were out.
I'm sure it sounds like it.
About 3 years before they invented the wheel.
Oh, careful. But no, I mean, perhaps one of your listeners might know what it was called.
Okay.
It was the same era when you used to buy these things like, horrible hard paper, and it used to rub the hairs off your legs.
Oh, right, like Bronco, you mean?
Yes, pain, like, what's that paper you rub wood down with? You know, wet and dry, sandpaper.
Sandpaper,
sandpaper,
yeah.
right.
It wasn't quite sandpaper. It was the same era as then.
All right, okay.
Somebody else might know about
Let's
it.
see if anyone else can help us with that. Thank you very much. This is from Steve on the Isle of Wight. Alex, I remember in the 60s, Fry's did a chocolate bar called a sandwich bar. It had 3 layers of chocolate, milk on the top and bottom, and plain in the middle. I used to love them.
Yes, well, they arrived in the 1930s and survived right through to the 50s, maybe the 60s. But yeah, all those things. Do you remember a product called Fry's 5 Centre with different flavours in each little connected bar?
No, I don't. No. Sounds delicious. Right, it's got a Lynn. Oh, no, I've done Lynn in Gosport. It's got a Brian in Highcliffe. Hi, Brian.
Hello, Alex. How you doing, mate?
All right, thank you. Now, were you the delivery boy, or do you
Yes. It was an after-school job. I mean, I started work at 14, if you like, on the old trade bike, the old little wheel in the front, the big one at the back, and the basket on the front.
Right.
Yeah, and the company was called Walton, Hassel and Port, and they I believe they all originated from Portsmouth area.
Right.
They used to be down at Portsmouth and everything, you know. And just the fact that I just wondered if that chappie you got there, if he remembered Walton, Hassel and Port.
Let me ask the chappie.
Yeah, there's a chappie.
I don't, but it sounds a brilliant name. It sounds like a solicitor's, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think they were quite a big group, you know. But I know they originated from Walton, Hassel and Port. And my manager, his name was, I always remember it, called Joplin, and he was an ex-naval bloke. And that's how I got to know that, you know, the old history of it. He said, yeah, well, we originated from Portsmouth. I was a manager down in Portsmouth, then moved to London, you see. And, it was after school job, like, really, you know, and just to earn a bit of money at the time. And, but it was a lovely old job. We used to have the old broken biscuits in the back of the shop. And then he always let me have a bottle of cream soda, and they used to do a beautiful cream soda.
Ah, cream soda. There's a real retro drink.
It's those broken biscuits that a lot of people remember, because I remember them so well, and you got such a good mixture and some really kind of classics that you wanted in there. I remember one that was made by Huntley and Palmer's Biscuits, and it had a little kind of eye in which they had some jelly, and it was just such fun.
We've got to move on, guys. Thank you very much, Brian. Hi, Alex. Whatever happened to Beer at Home by Davenport, says Andy in Weymouth.
Well, Davenports were a very big brewery, but at that time there were lots and lots of very good, strong local breweries, and so many of them have disappeared. I can remember drinking in Portsmouth in my student days a brand called Brickwoods, and they unfortunately have disappeared.
Brickwoods. They were massive in the south.
Weren't
And
they?
we also had do you remember Kixie? The soft drink Kixie, their factory was on the Isle of Wight. You see, as a kid, to me that was as big as Coca-Cola, but I don't know how far it branched out. You see, Cracker Barrel sandwiches washed down with Watney's Red Barrel is our retro lunch, says Albert in Woolston. Alex, I remember treetop squash. We used to use the lids for cups. Says Trudy in Fareham.
Yeah, well, treetop had that very particular shape, and as you're right, they had that quite a deep little kind of white lid to it, which was terrific fun and just accentuated the shape of the bottle.
Okay, let's go to Alan in Bournemouth. Hello, Alan.
Hello, Alex. Good morning.
Right, you want a Fox Robert OP with the Tiffin bar.
Well, yes, I'm not sure whether it was Fry's or Cadbury's.
It was Fry's, actually, the Tiffin bar, yes, with a kind of white packet with a red stripe across it.
That's the one, Robert.
Yeah, and a brilliant product, and it was actually quite nice to taste. It had lots of little bits in it.
I think there was bits of biscuit in it.
That's it, yes, because Tiffin was kind of something that was associated with biscuits quite a lot. So the Tiffin bar was a great brand.
It was a good line. I think it would sell now even.
It was, sorry, again?
I think it would even sell today.
I think it could do, absolutely.
I'm sorry we've got to be so quick with all you guys, but we're getting so many calls. But yes, Alex, you're right. The winter collection from Spangles was the Old English brand, says Brenda. Was that it?
That's the one.
OK, Phil in Emsworth, hello.
Good morning, Alex.
OK, come on, we've got Robert on the ropes now. He's getting tired. He's getting a bit punch drunk. What can you throw at him?
Pomane, sparkling cider.
Oh, yes, absolutely, yep.
Well, there you go, he remembers it.
We all remember that one, Phil.
Oh, come on.
And the best you can come up with is pomade.
It was great because everyone felt they were drinking champagne. It only cost £5 bob, you know. So it was a good little drink, that. Pop the cork and off you went, you know.
OK. All right, thank you very much. Only a farthing each, blackjack penny chews, but they were a farthing each. Love hearts and all that stuff, says John in Bassett. Oh, you've reminded me, John. What about Milko's? There was a chew called the Milko bar.
Absolutely. They were actually quite chewy, weren't they?
You remember them, do you?
Absolutely. Shaped like a milk bottle, yes.
Damn.
Yes.
What about Bird's Eye Brunchies? They were to be found in the freezer department, says Wendy in Gosport. I don't remember those at all.
No, they didn't last very long. They were one of those many brands which kind of came and went fairly quickly. But so many brands are coming back together. You never quite saw it. I mean, the Arctic Roll has been around now for a couple of years again. And do you remember Kellogg's Country Store? That has made a real...
I love that.
You did?
I love that. We go downstairs sometimes for muesli, and I say, have you got any Country Store? I love the packet because it was like individual fruits and nuts in different kind of compartments in a shelf, wasn't it?
Yes, that was
beautiful.
That was Kellogg's answer to Alpen, because we went through this huge muesli moment in the 70s, and it all taken off. Rather like we're suddenly going through a porridge moment today. You know, everything is now porridge related.
We're running out of time. Here's Ian in Blackfield. Hello, Ian.
Hello, Alex.
You're through to Robert.
Hi, Robert.
Hi.
My thoughts continue with your O ending, and,
yes.
and the product was something my gran used to use, probably be banned now because of its way it's made, but it was called Zebo.
Zebo, yes.
It was a black lead to make the grate and the hearth shine. It was in as I remember, an orange and black striped tin.
You're absolutely right, in a sunburst motif.
That's it.
That was the liquid version of an earlier Ricketts product called Zebra Great Polish.
Ah, right.
Zebo was a slightly more convenient one. That's the story of our consumer society. We always want things more convenient, better, faster, quicker, easier, hopefully cheaper.
Right, we've got to leave it there, Ian. Let's go very, very quickly to Dot in West End. Hi, Dot, you're our last caller. What did you want to say?
Hi there, Alex. Yes, does your friend remember Nibbits?
Nibbits?
It was a little square box, and in them was tiny little square black things.
With a penguin on the front?
I don't know.
No, they were penguin bars. Pick up a penguin.
They were very hot.
Yes, they were, but it was an orange box, as far as I remember, with a penguin on the front of it.
Oh.
Small penguin, because they were to help you kind of warm yourself up, and the penguin was feeling rather cold.
Guys, we're out of time. Sandra from Lilliput, do you remember the Corona Man coming round? I think we've talked about the Corona Man before.
Corona Man, absolutely.
Robert needs to get the plug in for his video. We've been talking to Robert Opie. His DVD is called My Search for Our Throwaway History. Robert is always so much fun. You will see his fabulous scrapbooks in the big stores. There's one for the 60s, one for the 70s. You've got one for the 50s too, haven't you?
Well, they start off in Victorian times for those who want to remember back that far, and they go through Edwardian, the First World War, which is obviously going to be next year's great moment. So the 1910s, the 1920s, the 30s, the Second World War, the wartime scrapbook, then the 50s, 60s and 70s, and next year I'm going to commit myself to writing the 80s scrapbook.
Brilliant, OK. And the DVD, Throwaway History, available now through Boots, Timothy White's, Owen and Owen?
Not yet, unfortunately, but do go to our website, throwawayhistory.com.
You see what I did there? With the retro...
No, but I'm afraid it's not through those stores yet. I wish it was. You can get it through Amazon, but do go to our website, throwawayhistory.com, because that'll connect you with everything.
Lovely. It's been so much fun talking to you.
Good.
Will you come back now?
I would love to come back.
Never wanted to come down from London before.
Well,
now they love you. I'll be here every 5 minutes.
You see, not in your lifetime, but I have been here before. But I will certainly come down. And next time, I want you to look at my DVD, get all those memories, and then I'm going to quiz you.
Okay. All right.